So you're a parent in Massachusetts and you're trying to figure out when your child can start kindergarten, right? It can feel surprisingly complicated, but don't worry. We're going to break it all down so you know exactly what's going on. This is the big question, isn't it? And you've probably heard a bunch of different answers from different people. And honestly, for good reason. See, unlike some states that have one single simple rule, Massachusetts has a system that can be, well, a little tricky to get your head around. But we're going to make it crystal clear. All right, so what's the big secret? What's the one thing you absolutely have to remember? It's this. There is no single statewide birthday cutoff. Nope. The final say on the earliest your child can start kindergarten comes down to your specific local school district. That right there is the key that unlocks this whole puzzle. Okay, so to really get this, you have to understand that there are two layers at play here. You've got the state law, and then you've got the local district rules. They work together, but they control two totally different things.
Okay, check this out. What's so interesting here is how it divides up the job. The state of Massachusetts, they set the safety net. They basically say a child must be in school by the time they turn 6. Think of it as the deadline. But the local district, they get to set the starting line, that minimum age for actually enrolling in kindergarten. And that's why one town's cutoff date can be completely different from the town right next door.
Right, so the crucial point to understand about this compulsory attendance thing is that the state's main concern is making sure kids don't start school too late. That's their job. This law just sets that final deadline, which then gives local districts the freedom and the flexibility to decide how early they'll let kids begin. And you know what? This whole dual system is exactly why you hear so many different things. It's not just you. The rules really are different all over the state. Let's look at a classic example of how this actually plays out for families. And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? Imagine your child's birthday is September 15th, okay? In District A, with that August 31st cutoff, they're not eligible. They'll have to wait another year. But in District B, maybe just a few miles away, they might just make the cut with that September 1st deadline. See, it all comes down to that one local policy. And here is a really critical warning. These local policies are not set in stone. School committees can and absolutely do change them. So whatever was true for your neighbor's older kid a few years ago might not be true for yours today. The only way to be 100% sure is to check directly with your district's enrollment office every single time. Okay, so now that you get the system, what do you actually do? What are the practical next steps? Let's turn all this knowledge into a clear action plan. Here's your game plan. It's super simple. Number 1, find that exact cutoff date. Go on the district's website or just call them. While you're at it, get a list of all the documents you're going to need. Birth certificate, proof of residency, all that stuff. Then, and this is a good pro tip, ask if they have a waiver or screening process for kids with birthdays right on the edge. It's always worth asking. And finally, get those registration dates on your calendar as early as you can, because they often open months and months in advance. Now, getting the date right is, of course, the first step. But the bigger question for so many parents isn't just, can my child go? It's, should my child go? And this is a really personal decision, right? Especially if your child has one of those summer birthdays and would be one of the youngest in the class. The state's flexible system actually kind of acknowledges that readiness is about way more than just a date on the calendar. So this is where you, as the parent, really have to think about your child's overall development. I mean, you know them best. How are their social skills? What's their attention span like? How comfortable are they with following routines? Things like their general maturity and whether they've been to preschool. All of that is just as important as their age when you're deciding if they're truly ready for the structure of a kindergarten classroom. And just a quick, important note here. If your child receives early intervention or other special education services, it is so important to work closely with the school during this transition. That kind of collaborative planning can make the move into kindergarten so much smoother for absolutely everyone. So we have covered a lot of ground. Let's boil it all down to the absolute most important things to remember as you start making your plans. If you remember nothing else from this, please remember this right here. Your local school district's website or their enrollment office is your single source of truth. Don't rely on what you heard from a friend or what you read in a parent group 3 years ago. Go directly to the source. To put it as simply as I possibly can, there is not one single statewide cutoff date. It varies by community, and that is the fundamental rule of the Massachusetts kindergarten system. That's it. And that really brings us to the final thought. Once you've figured out the administrative rules for your town, the power really shifts back to you. The ultimate question isn't just about what the district allows, but what's truly best for your child and their own unique developmental journey.